6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The Minister of Power and Energy says registration to the National Fuel Pass with the Vehicle Revenue Licence is now available. The Education Ministry is to introduce a hybrid education system from next month. A Gazette notification issued for the admission of 2 groups of student teachers to national colleges of education. A total of 33 persons have been arrested in connection with the storage and selling of fuel during island-wide raids. 1 person killed during a shooting in Rathgama. In sports news, Sri Lanka today marks the first Commonwealth Games Sevens rugby win. Japanese automakers are delaying delivery of vehicles amid a global semiconductor shortage. Registration to the National Fuel Pass with the Vehicle Revenue Licence is now available. The Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijayasekara, says that 746 fuel stations have used the QR code system yesterday. He said a total of 1,060 fuel stations have adopted to the system as at 8:30 p.m. yesterday, and that over 1.1 million transactions have been conducted over QR codes. The Ministry of Power and Energy says that it will be possible to register with the revenue license number from today for vehicles that cannot be registered with the chassis number for the National Fuel Pass. The Ministry points out that so far the necessary solutions have been provided to all the areas where there were problems in obtaining the fuel pass. The Ministry of Power and Energy is also requesting the public to refrain from gathering at fuel stations from tomorrow and causing congestions, as they have a week to get their respective fuel quota from the fuel stations across the island. The National Institute of Education, NIE, along with the Education Ministry, is to introduce a hybrid education system from next month. NIE's Director, Dr. Sunil Jayantha Navaratna, said the aim is to ensure that educational activities for school children continue uninterrupted. He added the system will be a combination of in-school sessions in physical classrooms, online activities and the completing of assignments at home. He added the decision was taken considering that educational activities could be disrupted again if the field situation did not improve in the next few weeks. Dr. Navaratna also said the system was developed after a detailed study was undertaken by the NIE. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. A Gazette notification has been issued for the admission of 2 groups of student teachers to national colleges of education to follow a 3-year pre-service national diploma in teaching based on their GCE advanced level results. Accordingly, students who passed the 2019 and 2020 A-level exams are entitled to apply for the 3-year diploma in all 3 mediums. The closing date for applications is the 12th of August. Students can follow the diploma at 19 national colleges of education located in several districts. A total of 33 persons have been arrested in connection with stockpiling, storage and selling of fuel during island-wide raids. The police carried out 31 raids all over the island in connection with the illegal hoarding, storage and sale of fuel stocks. Accordingly, the police seized 1,108 litres of petrol, 1,441 litres of diesel and 9 litres of kerosene during these raids. The police said a total of 1,220 raids have been conducted across the country, and 1,145 suspects have been arrested from those raids, where 38,029 litres of petrol, 123,945 litres of diesel and 19,238 litres of kerosene have been taken into police. The police said legal action would be taken against the arrested suspects. 1 person was killed and 2 others were injured during a shooting by 2 men on a motorcycle at Gamadagoda in Rathgama this afternoon. The police said the gunmen had used a T-56 weapon to carry out the shooting. 3 people were injured in the shooting and admitted to the Karapitia hospital, where 1 person died while being admitted to the hospital. 2 persons aged 47 and 29 who were injured in this shooting are currently receiving treatment at the Karapitia hospital, and the Rathgama police are conducting further investigations. Meanwhile, 3 individuals have been detained in connection with the shooting that occurred on the 6th of July in Modara. A 24-year-old man was shot and killed in Modara by the suspects who left on a 3-wheeler. The 3 suspects have been turned over by the STF officials to the Modara police for additional incidental investigations.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchan Vijayasekara, says that 746 fuel stations have used the QR code system. He said a total of 1,060 fuel stations have adopted to the system as at 8:30 p.m. yesterday, and that over 1.1 million transactions have been conducted over QR codes. The Ministry of Power and Energy says that it will be possible to register with the revenue license number from today for vehicles that cannot be registered with the chassis number for the National Fuel Pass. The Ministry points out that so far necessary solutions have been provided to all areas where there were problems in obtaining the fuel pass.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Secretary to the Government Medical Officers Association, Dr. Harith Alutke, says maximum effort should be made to prevent another wave of the COVID-19 virus in the country. He said that it is not possible to go into lockdown anymore. Therefore, the responsible authorities should take tangible measures to prevent the emergence of such a wave. He also added that there is a considerable increase in COVID-19 positive cases which are emerging other than the cases reported daily, and there has been an extraordinary increase in the number of deaths due to the COVID-19 virus. That came to you in Watchlight in World News headlines. Weather officials are calling for vigilance after tropical storm traces formed over waters in southwestern Japan. The Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives is beginning a tour of Asia with no mention of a possible visit to Taiwan. Japanese automakers are delaying delivery of vehicles amid a global semiconductor shortage. Weather officials are calling for vigilance after tropical storm traces formed over waters just north of the main island of Okinawa, southwestern Japan. The Met Agency said a tropical depression developed in the tropical storm over waters 40 kilometers north of the city of Naha at noon on Sunday. Agency officials are warning of heavy rain, strong winds and high waves as traces is already coming near the main island of Okinawa. They say the storm had a central atmospheric pressure of 998 hectopascals, with maximum winds of about 65 kilometers per hour and gusts of up to 90 kilometers per hour. It is moving north at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour. Intermittent heavy rains and strong winds are expected, especially on Okinawa's main island region and the Amami region in Kagoshima. The seas are expected to remain rough. The U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi is beginning a tour of Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea and Japan, her office says, with no mention of a possible visit to Taiwan. There has been intense speculation that she may visit the self-ruled island. Taiwan is claimed by China, which has warned of serious consequences if she goes there. No high-ranking U.S. elected official has visited Taiwan in 25 years. Ms. Pelosi, a California Democrat, tweeted that the 6-person congressional delegation tour would seek to reaffirm America's unshakable commitment to our allies and friends in the region. Her office said the tour was to the Indo-Pacific region, including visits to Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea and Japan. China sees Taiwan as a breakaway province that must become a part of the country. Beijing has not ruled out the possible use of force to achieve this in the future. Japanese automakers are delaying delivery of vehicles and suspending new orders for some models, largely due to the need to cut production amid a global semiconductor shortage. 8 major car makers say they assembled roughly 3.4 million vehicles in the first half of this year. That's a drop of more than 14% from the same period last year. Toyota Motor is not accepting new orders for the sports utility vehicle Land Cruiser. The firm says it will take up to 4 years to deliver Land Cruisers because the number of orders is far above output output capacity. Toyota also says that owing to a limited number of units available for delivery, it had to cancel some orders. Nissan Motor and Honda Motor also aren't taking orders for some models. A growing number of customers at other automakers are having to wait several months to have their vehicles delivered. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Weather officials are calling for vigilance after tropical storm traces formed over waters in southwestern Japan. The Speaker of the US House of Representatives is beginning a tour of Asia with no mention of a possible visit to Taiwan. Japanese automakers are delaying delivery of vehicles amid a global semiconductor shortage. In development news now, soft liquor permits are being issued to all Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority SLTDA approved establishments subject to restrictions. A Finance Ministry circular said these tourist hotels were being permitted to sell soft liquor under certain conditions in keeping with the excise ordinance. Licenses will be issued to boutique hotels, eco-friendly lodges, inns, guest hotels, homestays, cafes and food courts that cater to tourists. Owners of these businesses must pay 25,000 rupees to get a license. The move follows a cabinet decision in June to provide liquor license to all establishments registered with the SLTDA. The move was aimed at promoting tourism and bringing foreign revenue to the country. Tourism Minister Harin Fernando said last month, adding that it was also a fillip to tourism industry stakeholders.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Sri Lanka today marks the first Commonwealth Games Sevens rugby win in Coventry Stadium in Birmingham, England. Sri Lankan Sevens rugby team faces Zambia team. Sri Lankan Tuskers were leading the halftime score by 10-7. Srinath Suryabandara skippered the Sri Lankan team. Nigel Ratwatte scored 2 tries. Ashan Ratwatte and Dansha Chandradas scored 1 each and Mithum Hapagoda converted a try. Sri Lankan rugby fans seem to be joyfully celebrating this special moment for Sri Lankan Tuskers.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka and Bangladesh's Business Association met to discuss ways of improving shipping, investment and tourism trade between the two nations. The National Chamber of Exporters NC in Sri Lanka and the Dhaka Chamber of Commerce and Industry jointly hosted a webinar through the High Commission of Sri Lanka in Dhaka recently. The attendees talked about ways of improving the Chamber's economic collaboration and bilateral trade. Both business chambers members offered a number of initiatives and decided to host a follow-up webinar.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's poultry industry is in trouble, facing several challenges for its survival due to the rise in the price of chicken feed and other raw material. Industry leaders said as local demand has dropped, exports should be encouraged. They said that there is a drop in demand among local consumers as they cannot afford to pay high prices of chicken and eggs. They point out the business of eggs and chicken was once considered a profitable venture, but not anymore as the poultry industry is witnessing a recession. Both the farmers and the traders are greatly affected by the economic downturn, and many farmers have given up production.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
And now for the weather report. The Met Department says the southwest monsoon flow is likely to strengthen from tomorrow. Hence, showery and windy conditions are likely to enhance in the western and southern areas and over the southwest quarter of the island during the next few days. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabargama northern and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, Gala and Mathura districts. Heavy falls above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the aforesaid areas. Showers, thundershowers may occur at several places in the Yuva province and in the Ampara district during the afternoon or night. Strong winds above 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in the western slopes of the central hills and the southern provinces. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The Minister of Power and Energy says registration to the National Fuel Pass with the Vehicle Revenue Licence is now available. The Education Ministry is to introduce a hybrid education system from next month. A Gazette notification issued for the admission of 2 groups of student teachers to National Colleges of Education. A total of 33 persons have been arrested in connection with the storage and selling of fuel during island-wide raids. 1 person was killed during a shooting in Rathgama. Sri Lanka marks the first Commonwealth Games Sevens rugby win. Japanese automakers are delaying delivery of vehicles amid a global semiconductor shortage. That ends this news broadcast. You're with Radio Sri Lanka.